Hello. It's been a while since I've made one of these videos, or at least uploaded them. I feel like I've been making them or filming things, but they just never come to a full video, so I thought today I'm just going to try and keep it simple. I'm just going to show you what I get up to on my Boxing Day. Might go on a walk, gonna do some painting, I want to work on some like these little things that I've been doing for ages now, but they're just really satisfying little paintings. But I also think I should get out into the garage and do some paintings in there, because I should really be working out there a lot more. But yeah, if you like the sound of a chill, cozy little Boxing Day, watch this video. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for right now, otherwise I'll start rambling and chatting, and I've actually not really got much to say, so I shall see you in the next clip. So these are some of the things that I've been working on, and they're just these tiny little, they're not even A6, they're like smaller than that. This is A5, no, this is A6. This is smaller than A7. But I've got a whole load of like little sketchy things on the go, and I did use actually, like, or I made a lot of these into little Christmas cards this year and sent them out to friends. But I've been finding like they're a really fun little activity. Thought I'd just say there whilst I talk about this. Yeah, these are really fun little sketchy paintings, but I like doing things like this because I think it's like a nice little warm-up task. It gets me zoned into colour. I think it's like a quicker way of learning like composition and what works, and I think this then like follows through when I do more of my paintings on boards with oils, which I will show you later. But yeah, I mean, I think another thing I really love about doing these little paintings is that it's the kind of instant gratification, because they're really easy to finish. I like to like kind of put down some colours and then chuck them away for a few days, and then I come back to them. And I've also got a very kind of loose mentality when it comes to doing these things, because I'm doing so many of them. It's like purely just playing, because there's no sort of pressure on what these little paintings need to be. I'm just playing about colours and shapes, and I think it's been interesting these last couple of months how I'm starting to pick up on other elements of like the landscape that surrounds me here in Shetland, just like little motifs. Like I really like painting little fences like this, which is a really thin brush and like wispy little lines, and I've been quite obsessed with little telegraph poles, and I like doing tiny, this is not gonna focus. Okay, it's not gonna focus, but tiny little houses. I'll maybe try and just like put up some photos here of some of the ones that I did as little Christmas cards, because I think they're really cute, like adorable, and I was very happy with them. And I think in some ways I'd be very happy painting things like that for the rest of my life, but yeah, okay, I'm gonna get on with some painting now, because I know what I do here. I ramble and I chat and then I don't do anything. So yeah, I will speak to you later and enjoy watching me paint a little bit. Okay, I've just been painting for like 40 minutes and I love this one. I feel like the colours aren't quite as vivid on camera, but I'm really enjoying, this is what I'm enjoying about using like acrylics, is being able to lay down like one colour flat and then like do these like scruffy brush strokes on top. So I kind of been playing a bit more with texture maybe, but I really like that, and I'd like to like try doing this sort of stuff on like a bigger scale with bigger bits of paper, bigger scenes as well, because that's the one thing about doing tons of these little ones. I am somewhat aware that I find it I think when you have a smaller scale, in some ways it's actually easier to create like a successful like composition, something that's like pleasing in a small space, rather than when you have like a big sheet of paper and to try and tackle that and figure out what would work. I feel like it uses a lot more brain power and I don't know whether I'm very good at that at times. I also did this little one which very much inspired by the view. So there's a little house, oh, dirty window, a little house, yeah, but again, like doing these sort of like the scruffy textures with like lighter bits of paint coming through, I really like that. And I did the same at this bit here. If I zoomed in a little bit, if I have, I wish I could get to focus a bit better. Go on. There we go. And the little house, and a bit more muted, and then I've got these tiny little clouds. Just thought I'd flip the camera around. I think I wanna go on a walk at some point today, and I'm kinda like, maybe I go now. I feel like I've not been outside in a while, which maybe sounds silly, but I'm working full time at the moment, and I feel like I go to work, I come back, it's dark, I'm not gonna go outside, and then at the weekends sometimes I have this little feeling of like scarcity, that like I have a little time to draw and paint, that I just want to spend the whole weekend doing that. But then it means that like I don't allow myself to go on walks and use my time in that way, despite it being a really inspiring thing to do for my practice. So and just also good, like it's good to get outside, get some fresh air, and I live in a really beautiful place, so bit of a shame that I don't go on walks as much. So I'd like to go on a walk today, and I think I will just head out now, and I will take my sketchbook with me to maybe do some sketching, so I will show you anything I do. It's quite like it's a really mild day, it's really calm, but it's quite muted. And this is funny thing though, like I love the fact that I paint, because it means that like even on days where the sky is quite muted and people might think it's like a grey day, I'm honestly like, I feel like my eyes are tuned into seeing the colour, so no day ever feels grey, which is quite nice. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I just think that's bloody adorable. Is that not just so cute? Love. Another thing I probably need to do when it comes to like these little paintings is actually like not necessarily like taking notes, but taking notes mentally of what works and what doesn't, because I do that quite a lot, where I just, not that I get lazy, but I just put down paint on a bit of paper and I'm not thinking about what I'm trying to create, which I do enjoy. But at the same time, like there's definitely versions of these little paintings that are way more successful than other ones, in my opinion. Like I don't love these colours, but I much prefer these ones, and I feel like I need to become a little bit more conscious of doing that. But that is where these little pink houses are like cropping up more and more, because when I was making a series of these for little Christmas cards, I made one for my friend Lydia. I can remember I gave it to Lydia. And it has like this little pink house with like kind of blue shadow, and I know that like I really like that colour combination, and I just thought it was a really successful little image. If I have a photo of it, I will put it up here, but I know I definitely do, so I'll put it up here. And I just loved those colours together, and I think that's like an example of a little note that I've managed to like download a little bit and trying to put that into paintings. But generally that's just like a thing I should probably do more often, is be a bit more conscious of what I paint at times. But yeah, anyway, let's go on a little walk. I'm also going to try out my new hiking boots that my boyfriend got me for Christmas, so yeah. So I went for my little walk. I went with my mum though, so I didn't do any sketching. And I'm now in the garage. I'm in my painting clothes. And do I have a plan of what I'm doing? Not really, but I did get some little boards cut up the other week and gessoed. So I think I'll probably just like start painting some things, to be honest. I really need to like spend more time in here painting and painting with oils. I get put off because it's cold in here. That's, to be honest, the major one. It's cold, so it feels like I can't really paint for like a huge amount of time. There's no heating, but I can get around that. I can just wear more layers, so it's not enough of an excuse. I'll show you some of the other paintings that I have on the go at the moment. The things you can see here, these are from like a little while back, but I'll show you what I've been working on oils. I've also brought through some of the little paintings that I was working on and some ones from a bit further back, but ones that I quite like elements, because just as little references to kind of guide me when I'm painting with oils, kind of just in ways just to think about like what colours to actually place down first, because a lot of my paintings I do just like start somewhere and I just go with it, but as I said earlier, like I need to be a little bit more intentional, I think, perhaps, when it comes to my paintings and like taking notes of what work. And so that's why I brought these through, just so I can kind of do that and refer back to them and use them as very loose guides. But yeah, let me show you some of the stuff that I've been working on over the past while. Not very consistently, but over the past month or so. So these are some of the paintings that I have on the go. Nothing is like finished, they're all very much like starting off with layers. Some of them I started working on like months ago, like these two were on, actually these three were months and months ago. Same with these ones over here. And I really need to just work back into them, because I know looking at them I don't feel like they're finished. But I also know that I'm like a little bit scared to like lose what I have, but I think my whole relationship with painting is trying to overcome that whole thing and just keep moving, because I will eventually create something that I like. But yeah, so there's these ones over here, and these are some more recent ones. I really like this size of board. It's like, I think this is actually like A5 size. I think that's what we cut them up as. And these ones, another one I really like, and I kind of like this one. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm working with at the moment, and I'm just gonna, I think, spend a little while in here painting away, because I need to get used to being back here, because I keep putting off being in the garage because, as I said, I think it gets cold, and that's, to be honest, the main reason. And cleaning up oils, that's also the other reason. I get lazy and I don't want to have to clean up the mess, but I have a very good space here and I need to make the most of it. So let's go paint. get this one out the way. My hands are getting cold already. I'm seeing a trend here where in a lot of the paintings I picked out, it's having light colours underneath. So when you put darker colours on top, and like if I do it kind of in a scratchy way, then you have elements of the lighter colours coming through. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna like prime a few boards, start them off with these sort of lighter layers, and then hopefully layer them up. In some ways it's quite nice working in oils. You always have that time apart from the painting, so you do something and then you have to let it dry, or at least how I work with oils at the moment. I leave them to the side to dry until like I can layer something else on top. And I don't know, I think it's a different way of going about a painting, because whenever I do my little acrylic studies, then they're very, like I said earlier, they're really like it's like instant gratification, because I can come away with a finished little painting in half an hour, whereas with these ones I have to be a lot more patient, which I think is like an interesting little lesson that I get from doing these sort of works. Okay. Pick it up. Go, yeah. What's that? Go there. Make believe. It's kind of fun. Orange. always forget how much I love this. You can see me. It's really cold in here and I'm gonna go inside. I think I've been painting for maybe like an hour or so. But yeah, I'm gonna go inside, warm up, and I don't know, I might come out here again in the evening. I'm glad that I got a few boards started. Because as I said, like oil painting for me, is so much of it is like working slowly and having the patience just to do a little bit at a time. Yeah, that's generally how I like to work, so I'm just trying to do that. Yeah, let's go inside. Hello. I can confirm it is now the next day. So it's not Boxing Day anymore. I did have some leftover Christmas dinner for my tea, and then I did go on to actually paint a little bit more in the evening, but I've decided I'm going to keep that for another video, because I kind of started talking about how I really want to get better at putting like man-made elements into my landscape kind of work, but in a cohesive way, like in a natural way. And so I was doing some little study sort of things and that, like this is a little painting I did, but I thought I was getting a little bit chatty and I'll just end the video here. I think we're already at like half an hour, so I think this is a good point to stop it. It's been a good little exercise though, because a lot of the time when it comes to making these videos I have so much footage and then I kind of get overwhelmed about the editing process and I feel like I don't have the time for it. So I think this sort of way of making videos is probably how I should go about things in the future. Just film one little day of making and go with it, because I really want to make these little videos. Like I enjoy filming what I do. I enjoy talking about what I'm making, and I'd love to have a little record of that, even just for myself. So yeah, I'm glad that I have been able to make something. But I think this is maybe the framework that I should try and go for in the future. Yeah, so I'm gonna get started on making the next video. Fingers crossed it actually gets uploaded, and I get around to editing it. If you have watched till the end, thank you, and hopefully I will see you in another video, hopefully. But yeah, I hope you had a nice Christmas if you celebrate, and I will see you in another video. I will.